Hi, well, here we are with another update. I have to say, we've been doing this now for 5 years, and this is probably the most important update so far. We are in an absolutely critical moment now for the Wall of Answered Prayer, and we are looking for 2019 heroes. You know, I am going to ask you at the end of this video if you will be one of the people who helps us. That's what we need. It's pretty windy here today, and it reminds me of that scripture when Peter jumped out the boat and he walked on the water, and he'd walked a couple of steps, and then it said he started to look at the wind, and then he started to sink instead of looking at Jesus. And we have a lot of wind blowing now in this project, and we need your help. But before I tell you about that, let me just update you with where we are so far in this project. We've been working hard behind the scenes with Gleeds, with Ramboll, with Snug Architects, and with Ubu, and we've now finalized the design. So you'll see here in this artist impression, probably as close as we're going to get. This is what it's going to look like. This is a Mobius strip. It creates an infinity symbol. I think you'll agree with me, they've done a phenomenal job. It looks amazing, and Ramboll and Snug have been working together to make sure as well that this is architecturally and structurally safe, because it is pushing the edges of engineering, which is terrific. The other thing we need to do, of course, is create the landscape. So Snug Architects have been working with Ubu to create this park area, because it's not just about the landmark. We want to create space and prayer spaces and places of contemplation, so that people who come here from the busyness of their life, from the pressures of life, will be able to sit down and think about whether they should engage with the God who answers. That is the heart of this project. So that's where we are with the design. We are there. They have more detailed design to do after the planning process, but that is the design done to be submitted to planning. Now, because we are trying to build a national landmark in the heart of this country, the bar is really high in terms of planning, and we are going to be consulting now with the council, but we have to do a whole load, and you'll see the list coming down to my right, I think. You'll see the list of these are the investigations and surveys and assessments that we have to do, because when we submit our application, it has to be world class, it has to be really professional, so that we can jump through the hoops, jump over the hurdles, and make sure that what we provide is absolutely the best for everybody involved, for all the stakeholders, and for the local people around, that they'll be thrilled with what we are proposing. Because of that high bar, the costs are high. That's just the reality of it. We've had a great summer, and we've raised a whole heap of money, but I have to tell you right now, the wind is blowing, and we're short, and we're significantly short, and I have to find that money, or we as a team have to find that money in the next 6 weeks, and we have to hit that window of planning, otherwise there are massive ramifications going forward. So we need your help. We need your help now. And we've come to the number of 2019 people, because that is an average of £72 each. And one of the things on this project that I've learned, that is, if God can do it once, he can do it again and again and again. And you know, I look back at the Kickstarter project, and for those 723 of you who are watching from the Kickstarter, I will never ever be able to thank you enough, because you know, we we just proposed a dream. We proposed a dream, an idea. We had no land, we had no idea, we had no design, and you guys were amazing and so faithful and so visionary in backing this. Where we are now is this. We will have certain funds unlocked to us once we get that planning. And we need people of faith to join with us and help us get there. God has done it once, so we'll do it again. We know that. That's been our experience as we've come through this. So I'm asking, pleading, begging, praying, whatever it takes, because we are so close now to pulling this off, but we have to get that planning submitted at the end of November. So can you please join with us? And for some people, £72 is neither here nor there. Get on board. For other people, £72 is massive, and that may be too much, and that's fine, but I'd just love you to be part of it and to join with us on this adventure. And we're gonna be encouraging you to do that over the next 6 weeks. But here's my thing. When we're in the middle of the Kickstarter, and I had my head in my hands, and it was, you know, the most stressful few days of my life, my amazing wife said, my amazing wife said, I'm gonna book a party. And even though we couldn't see it, and we couldn't even possibly dream that we were going to hit the target, we booked a party to celebrate. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to have a party on the 14th of December, and we'd like you to come along and celebrate, and we'll tell you even more about the wall, because faith is about acting on what you can't see. And we can't see how we're going to do this, but we're believing that we can. So can I ask you, can you be one of our 2019 heroes and help us build the wall?